We'll have lunch coming here pretty quick. So hang around. You can eat up here before you go down to the lot. I'd like to have Liz do the next introduction because she pulled us all together and convinced this big dog to come and see us here. We're really proud to have him here.
Yay.
Maybe I'll let you guess who it is. This is Chester Armstrong, and we are very happy to have him as part of our rendezvous.
All the way from Oregon to Pennsylvania. That's a great run. I'm sure glad to be here. I'm glad to be asked to be here. You know, it really surprised me when I got the call from Liz. I was laying in bed and she called me up and said, you know, Chester Armstrong, we'd love to have you at your rendezvous. And I thought, well, why? And she went on to say that, you know, this little book that came out on me years and years ago, Chainsaw Sculptor, has made the rounds and has caused a lot of interest from people in the biz. So I assumed, you know, you wanted me to come on out. So I have. And I'm happy to be here. It's great to have a rendezvous, chainsaw carving. Really, the truth is, I haven't been part of these rendezvous ever in my career, and I think I've been missing something really significant. I'm looking forward to this. I've been carving 40 years, and that's a statement in and of itself. I've certainly lost my hearing in the process, and the fingertips are dead, as we all know, but the heart is alive, and I just love the medium. I just think it's the most exciting thing that one can ever do, and I still do it, and I love going to the shop every day, and that's a statement after 40 years of continuous working. And I've tried to think about why I love it so, and I think it's the excitement, the action, the fact that you literally breathe life into wood with a chainsaw. The process is so direct that it just excites your imagination, at least my imagination. So I'm in it, I'm completely passionate about it, and I've done some work that's slocky and I'm not proud of, but there are other pieces that I've done that are really, really something that I think is significant. And today, later on, I'm going to show on my DVD a piece that I just finished for the Catholic Church that I think is pretty significant, one of those pieces that really stand out, and I'm proud to say that I did it. Let's see, 40 years ago I was a kid living in Berkeley, California. Didn't know what a chainsaw was, pretty elementary guy. Philosophy was my game. Poetry was a little bit of what I did. I was looking for meaning. I looked at it through the world of the philosophers and whatnot at Berkeley, did a lot of study and a lot of papers, but in the end found out that it wasn't in the words, it wasn't in somebody's philosophy that I could find anything that really I could put my teeth into. So it was only after I graduated from Berkeley with a degree in philosophy. I say I graduated from Berkeley with a BS degree, so it seemed like it was appropriate. But after that experience, I was looking for meaning, you know, that would make me feel whole about myself and the world. And I headed to Central America, and this is one of those key moments in my life. I was down in Palenque, and Temple to the Sun, carved temples down there in the Mayan civilizations that I found. And while I was up there, while the sun rose over the jungle, these temple carvings just literally came alive with the first rays of the sun. And so as a young kid, you know, I was just totally enamored by that. I was enamored by the fact that 1,000 years after that guy, that artisan had carved that piece, it still lived for me like it was done yesterday. And that was the world at that point that I knew that I wanted to be part of. As hopefully we're all part of that same experience. We want something to show for our time on this planet, you know, something that lasts past when our time is up. And I think art really does that. And it was that moment when I realized that I wanted to be an artist. And then I had to figure out, of course, how to do it, what to do it, what was significant to me. And I can say truthfully, I don't think I would be an artist if it hadn't been for the chainsaw. The chainsaw and I fit like a glove. It's just that speed of creation that I was talking about earlier that really moves me. And everybody has a sense of this, you know, their own creative flow, and for, I think, all of us here, the chainsaw does that. It's that speed of thought, speed of life, speed of, what is it? It's the energy of the saw and the energy of the piece coalesce and come together. And that's why I think it works so well as a sculpting tool. You are capturing literally the essence of the life force when you're creating at that speed. And I think, you know, in the end, that's what we're all about. We're trying to create the essence of life force in our pieces. We're not trying to carve a bear that looks like a bear. We're trying to carve the energy of the bear. What's the inside feel like of that bear? What's his attitude? Where does he stand? And all of that comes from energy. Actually, when I was in 6th grade, I got to say this, one of those moments again, along with that moment in Palenque. By the way, I did take some mushrooms for that experience. So it wasn't completely, you know, native. There was some augmentation going on, but I will say in truth, that augmentation has served me well. That is really my dominant, you know, life expression, to try to create and recreate that sensibility about the world that I saw up there on the top of that temple. Enough, then. Any other questions?
Now do you use mostly hardwoods, and do you kiln dry your logs?
Ah, good point. They're always so great points. Yes, always hardwood. You know, if you're going to do it, you might as well do something that's durable. Hardwoods are so beautiful. You know, why waste part of your medium is my theory. You know, in the end, art is about beauty, you know, and how do we convey the most beauty for the, you know, quadrant we're working in. I think hardwoods do that. In the tooling of today, you know, there's no difference between softwoods and hardwoods, really. I mean, the chainsaw blasts through everything just as easy as nothing. I mean, ice is on one continuum, walnut is somewhere in the middle, you know, ironwood is somewhere on the other end, but it's all a continuum. We can carve it all, and why not pick the stuff that's got the most value in terms of the wood of it? I mean, I've done enough stone to know that that doesn't really excite me because of the speed thing, but stone has a lot of value too. But you're trying to create value, and hardwoods certainly do that. Hardwoods do value. We were sitting around once talking about art with a bunch of artists. You know, these are all professional artists. Back to the chainsaw sculpting, you know, I have participated in art shows my whole life. That's how I got into doing stuff. That's where I'm selling my work, through galleries. They don't want to hear about chainsaws. They want to hear about art and sculpture. The shows I do, nobody cares about the chainsaw. They want to know, how does that piece stack up relative to the whole world of art that you're in? But we were having this discussion around a table and talking about art and the form and line and shape of it, you know, and how exciting it was and what that expression meant and what that meant. And this little kid at the table, precocious little kid, I think she was 3.5, 4 years old, had been part of these kind of conversations with her parents right along. And there was a breath of silence, and she chimed in, you know, art is great, but you gotta sell it. And so, the basic, back to the hardwood, you gotta sell it. How is it easiest to sell? Let's create value. Value is the look of it, the beauty of it, all of that goes into it. So art is beauty, beauty is truth, truth is beauty. You know, why not stick with the hardwood?
Kiln dry.
And kiln dry.